Hello and welcome to Money Monkey Africa, your go-to financial podcast. Today, our guest is Jairus Walemba. Jairus, thank you very much for coming.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yes. So Jairus deals with CV revamping. He has a company called Jairus CVs, Jairus Services,
Yeah.
which is JCVs, yeah, nickname. And we are going to talk about the career world in just how should we prepare for CV, because you revamp CVs, you train people and coach them and even mentor universities and high schools. So yes, what is the key must-haves for a good CV?
My name is Walemba Jay.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm the CEO and founder of JCVs. Basically, for a good CV, it should be precise, it should be short and up to the point. So the contents of a good CV should be the introduction, where you have the name, telephone number, the email address, and then nowadays we've also added a LinkedIn URL, which will be on your CV. Then from there we go to the professional summary of the executive summary or the career summary. This is just a summary of the jobs that you held, the skills that you have, and the attributes in relation to the job that you're doing. And it can also talk about a few achievements in that summary. So the third part in the CV is the areas of expertise. So the areas of expertise is just a summary of the technical skills that you have as an individual based on the experience that you've had. So with the areas of expertise or the technical skills, you don't have to, they vary from one profession to another. An accountant's areas of expertise are different from a HR's areas of expertise, different from a lawyer's areas of expertise. So they differ from one role to another. Then the fourth part of our CV is the professional qualifications. With the professional qualifications, this is where you have your academics starting from the highest to the lowest. And we do, mostly we do, if it's a bachelor's degree with a high school, then the years that you attended that specific institution. Then the fifth part of a CV is the work experience. The work experience now, this is where you highlight the roles that you held, the company that you worked for, and the duration that you worked for. You worked in a specific company. So you then highlight the responsibilities that you're holding in that profession, in that position for that organization. We prefer that we have at least, if at most, three roles that are highlighted in your CV. Then you can have the other role listed as other positions held, where you list the position, and then you have the organization, and then the duration that you worked in that organization. So the last part in a CV, we have the referees. With the referees, that's where you want at least you have two of your immediate supervisors in the previous roles that you've held. Then you can have one mentor or someone who you look up to as a professional.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm learning so much. I'm like, okay, this is really good.
Yeah.
Yes. And I have a question between professional career summary and professional, the work experience. What's the difference?
The career summary now is just a statement of about 2-3 lines, lines that gives a view of who you are as an individual, who you are professionally. But with the career summary now, the work experience now will show the company you worked for, the position that you held, and the duration, then the responsibilities that you held in that specific position. Another thing that you need to note is that when you're doing CVs, for senior positions, for people who have over 20 years experience, we understand that now you are applying this specific field. So you don't always encourage people to have their JDs on that CV. We'll encourage someone now to use the achievement that they've had in that profession. This helps now minimize the size of your CV. At some point, I know we all as Kenyans, we saw the Magoha CV, which had about 90 something pages.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I looked at it. I personally went online and downloaded it and looked at it, and it had so much unnecessary information. So that is what we are trying to avoid when doing CVs, because when you have a position, for example, a position like a finance manager or an accounts assistant or a HR manager, you will receive more than 1,000 CVs. So through the 1,000 CVs, assuming everyone's CV is over 10 pages, how long will it take the HR to go through shortlisting? So that's why we prefer that your CV should be precise and up to the point. Someone reading your first page, the first page of your CV, should have a clue of who you are as a person.
Yes.
And that is what we use now to help in shortlisting.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what should I avoid for my CV to be outstanding? You said let it be specific and precise. What else?
Now, we've had the generic CVs that you are taught while you are in high school and primary school and in colleges, where you have the age and the gender, the marital status, then you have the year of birth. So these things are very relevant to any to a CV. So a CV should only have the information that is needed for by the recruiter.
Yeah.
Information about age, gender should only come after now. When you gotten the offer and you're filling the biodata form, that's where we can reveal this information. Unless it is very necessary, the specific employer is looking for someone with a specific age. That one they can ask you during the interview. But if it's not mentioned, then you don't have to include your age on your CV. Unless now you're applying for a position in the Middle East, where now we have to do that and our ages on the CV.
Okay.
Yeah.
And let's say I'm a graduate. Yeah. I've just finished my law school degree, and it's my first time in an interview. What common question will I be asked? Yes, just ask me so I see if I'm good for an interview.
So, in 90% of the interviews that you'll go for,
yes,
the first question is always tell us about yourself. Yeah.
Okay.
So they will tell us about yourself.
Mutheo Mbovi is a detailed and very organized young lady. She thrives in spaces that challenge her. She is ready to work with a team and do her best for the company's excellence. Yes, have I tried? Because I wasn't prepared, first of all. I was just, okay, what else will I tell about myself? So tell me what I've said wrong, because I know I've done some few wrong things, and how will I improve?
So the tell us about yourself question.
Yes.
It sets the best for any interview. And how you respond to this question determines the direction the interview takes. So when asked about to tell us about yourself, what you need to do about it, you do an introduction, which you've done. Then you talk about your academics, which you haven't done now.
Yes.
Then you talk about your experience. You might not, if you are fresh graduates, you can now talk about the skills. You know, there are those skills that are gained from school. There are those technical skills that are gained from school. You know what needs to be done, but you might not even have the knowledge in terms of maybe if it means using a software or anything.
Yeah.
But you have those skills that you can talk about. Then the last part is talk about the attributes. So I've heard you talk about being a team player and ready to work in a challenging environment. So that is now an attribute that now comes last.
That should come last.
Yeah, when you're talking about yourself.
Okay, wow. So can I go ahead and just rectify?
Yeah, sure.
Let's see. So Mutheo Mbovi is a graduate of the Kenya School of Law. She has her degree in University of Nairobi, which she passed, and she's worked with public speaking. Yes, she has other experience in financial analyst, and she is really good at Micro Excel and Microsoft Word. Her attributes are that she is a great team player, she is good with organization, and will work under pressure. Yes. Yes.
Now, you've tried.
I've tried.
The problem now, you are referring to yourself as she is. You are the person now being interviewed.
Oh, I should say,
So,
instead of that person,
yeah.
I should say I am.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. So it should, I am. Then when you're talking about attributes, you don't have to mention my attributes are. After you talked about the experience, now you go directly.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a team player.
Yes.
I can work well under pressure and in deadline-driven environments.
Yeah.
So that is something that just comes up. You don't have to mention that my attributes are, because when you mention my attributes are,
it's as if you've crammed.
this recruiter will be sure that someone trained
Drilled
you on
you.
this.
Yeah.
Trained you on this, and you're just following what he told you to.
Okay, I really need to work on telling others about myself in different jobs. Yeah. And I'm really happy for that. Yeah.
Welcome.
So something else, yeah, on hiring. Like now we've talked about the employees being hired, but now for the employer, what should they look at in terms of CV?
Now,
Yeah.
as I've said, is that when a job application is made,
Mm-hmm.
for example, now, personally, I run some groups for jobs. I have 26 groups, WhatsApp groups. That's around 10,000 plus people in those groups. Then there are those people in those groups that share these adverts with other groups. So what happens? I always advise job seekers to apply the job immediately they see it, because while you are waiting for the deadline, someone else has applied for that job.
Yeah.
Me as a recruiter, I'll not go through 10,000 CVs when I'm looking for one candidate.
Yes.
I can only go through 50 CVs, then get the 10 candidates that I need to interview. So late applications are not, when you apply late, you might not be considered for this position. You might end up now, we have those youths that fall into depression. They're like, I've applied for 1,000 jobs, but I don't get feedback.
Yes.
So there are the people making these mistakes. So recruiters will always look at a precise CV. A CV, a CV is a marketing tool.
Yes.
So your CV should communicate who you are to a potential recruiter. And by communicating who you are to a potential recruiter, it means that this is what now makes a recruiter be able now to hire you as an individual. So to invite you for an interview, so that they can now meet the person now who was in the CV. So that is why we invite people. So your CV should be precise. If you are a fresh graduate with a CV of 6 pages, then it means that you are not someone who is organized. A fresh graduate with no experience, or with 1 year experience, or with an internship and attachment experience, your CV should not go beyond two pages. And then even if you are a CEO, your CV should not go beyond 3 pages.
Okay.
So the more precise the CV, the more easy it is for the recruiter now to do their job. Sometimes you might just be invited because of your CV, because of how you planned your CV, how you organized your CV. Especially if it's a position that needs organization as a skill, it's very easy for a recruiter to invite you, because they've seen that skill of organization in your CV. So they want now to invite you just to meet you because of that. So the things we do in the CVs will always determine if we are getting an interview or not.
Okay. And tell us about the packages you have as JCVs for people out there.
Now, for CVs, we do our rates range from 1,000 shillings to 5,000 shillings. So 1,000 is for fresh graduate, and then we have 2,000 for someone with experience of 1 year to 3 years, 2,500 for someone with experience between 3 years and 5 years, 3,000 for someone with experience between 5 years and 8 years, 4,000 for someone between 8 years and 10 years experience, then 5K for someone above 10 years experience.
Wow. And those are really affordable rates for
affordable.
a great CV that will land your job.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And do you guys leverage on, if the person gets the job, like you'll get a particular percentage from their salary?
No. Basically, my intention to start JCBs is that when at some point when I lost my job before I started JCBs, I was there and I was looking at what job seekers go through, the challenges job seekers go through.
Yeah.
So I made up my mind now to help people now assess employability easily. So what we charge is basically, you can't equate it to the benefit that the CV will give someone. Well, we're doing this because we just want now to open doors for other people now in terms of employment. We've changed so many lives. We've done over 20,000 CVs for people, and when we will only want feedback from you as a job seeker, just to tell us that your CV got me an interview, your CV got me a job. That one gives us satisfaction. So you don't follow up on getting a salary from the job seekers. Yeah.
I am definitely coming, because mine will be the fresh graduate one, because I'm yet to be in the field. I'm just doing work experience.
Yeah, that's right.
And I am ready to be coached.
Yeah.
Yes, because clearly I have already been coached. It's just one question,
Yes.
and I feel I'm ready to see who I am. Yes.
Thank you.
And about, you've gotten the job.
Yeah.
Yes. You've given them, even, let's say you're the one who was getting for the client,
Yeah.
employees.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the employee has gotten a job.
Yeah.
But they are miserable, because that's also a really major problem in terms of employment currently. You get the job, you're psyched, and then 2 months down the line, I'm like, this is not what I signed up for. What would you advise that employee?
We have those issues where you don't, maybe you had different expectations in terms of
Yes.
the job, but what you end up getting is totally different. The employers who will provide you an environment that is good for you to work. They're the employers that will give you the employers will provide a toxic environment for you.
Yes.
So it's something. Sometimes the owner of the company might not know. Maybe your immediate supervisor is someone that is causing you this. So I've always said that someone might be miserable in several ways. The first one might be that you've done a different course, but you're being assigned different roles from the title that you got, you are given, or the title that is in your appointment letter. So that is an issue. Someone can always seek advice from the HR of that organization. Then the second thing is a toxic environment. A toxic environment whereby now, initially in the contract, you are supposed to work from 8 to 5, but you end up working up till 9, 7 p.m. or 9 p.m. So when this happens, always feel free to reach the HR. The HR now in any organization are the people now that, why we are called the human sources, we are the people now who handle issues affecting the employees in an organization. So any HR should be able to address that, because the HR, we are the people now implementing the Employment Act in an organization. And by implementing the Employment Act in an organization, we are there to make sure that everything that is, any operations in the organization is compliant to the Employment Act in that specific organization. So when you seek advice from the HR will always reach out and help you ensure that you're getting the right treatment, you're getting the right presentation in terms of what you applied for and what you hired to do in that organization. Another advice I'll give is that in that scenario, if you don't get help from the HR, then you should be able to start looking for another job.
Okay, that's really great. How long should someone spend in an organization? Because sometimes you're told, don't stick there for too long, move to the next job or do something else. How long do you think someone should be in a position?
The question should be now,
Yes.
What are some of the things that you looking for as an individual in any organization that you're going for?
Yes.
What are your goals in terms of your career? What are your goals in terms of financial goals? Because I know you go to most organizations. When you ask this in an interview, 90% of the candidates will tell you that I'm here looking for growth. No one tells you that I'm looking for money. But that is the core thing, business, why we go for employment.
Yeah.
So if it's an organization that will give you room for growth, there are organizations that people will go, you start as an accountant, you will grow to a finance manager. There are organizations that will give you opportunities for growth. I've seen organizations whereby staff are given an opportunity to do courses online. The organization pays for them. That's an organization that is giving you growth.
Yeah.
There are those organizations that have policies whereby now they are giving an increment yearly. So that is, some people will tend to stay in such organizations because now they know their financial growth will be guaranteed in that organization. So depending on your goals in an organization, if your goals are not met in any organization, be free to move.
Yeah. Wow. What should you advise someone who is out there, has been seeking a job for such a long time, and they're in despair? and they're like, Jay, hakuna jobs. There are no jobs. Yeah.
Now, one thing about job search is that as long as you package yourself well, don't be choosy,
Yeah.
start somewhere. We also started somewhere. That's where we are now.
Yeah.
So start somewhere and just be intentional. Above all, always seek God first. Ask God and trust in Him. When you do these things, when you start somewhere, when you start as a when you start working as a shop attendant or phone seller in any shop in town, you can grow. You can meet your potential employer in that during such during the interaction. You're selling a phone. Due to the way you explain to this client, the way you serve this client, the client might be interested in knowing how far you are, maybe academically, or what course you've done in your career. Then they can consider you for a position in the organization. I've seen people get jobs through such means.
Yes.
And someone who was earning 20,000 ends up earning around 100 plus thousands. Courtesy of a client that she served well.
Yeah. So what I'm getting is serve well, do your best.
Yeah. In any job, whether you are a cleaner, whether you are washing cars, do your job well.
Yeah.
Just love what you do.
Yes.
And take ownership for that specific job that you do.
Yeah. And something also I've learned that is there's growth also in sacrifice. Yeah. When you sacrifice and do your best, even though you know your goals, as you said, what's the purpose of being in that job?
Yeah.
If you are ready to look forward, you're looking forward to be the CEO, etc., and you just started as an accountant.
Yeah.
So how will you grow yourself to get there?
Now, career growth is something that needs time. It's bit by bit.
Yeah.
You don't just you have to go to every step. If you skip some of the steps that will really help you, nurture you to get to that point, you are doomed to fail because you can't start as an accountant and then the next day you are a CEO. So you have to go step by step.
Yeah.
What I will advise is that you get a mentor, then just be in the right network with the right people, have them mentor you, feel what they think about, feel their talks, and when you join them, you can hear what they talk about, you can hear their discussions. That will start changing you slowly by slowly. Then you'll end up being someone that you always admired being.
Yeah. You have a really good work ethic. Yeah.
That's right.
You said you come to work at 6 a.m., leave at 10 p.m. Yeah. And that requires sacrifice.
Yeah.
So what motivates you?
For me, my main motivation is that, for the last 2-3 years, I can't tell you that there's a single day that I'll miss making even $1,000. I make money on daily basis.
Yes.
Yeah. Even at night, someone will call you and they're like, Jay, I want you to help us do this. Sometimes I have to turn it down, maybe if I'm outside town.
Yeah.
So what I tend to do is that I always give priority to my work. Unless it's very important, unless whatever I'm going to do is in line with my goals as an individual, unless I'm going for mentorship in a school, unless I'm attending a training, I'll always be at work. Yeah. So what motivates me most is that the impact that I've made in people's lives. I've had people come back and say that, Jay, you changed my life. I've had people who have said that, Jay, I'm what I am today because of Jay.
Yes.
So that really motivates me, and I always want to keep doing more.
Wow. You are doing a noble cause.
Yeah, thank you so much.
It really helps because the rates of employment are really low, but if we package ourselves right with JCBs, of course,
sure,
we'll be able to get the jobs.
Yeah,
yes.
Right. Yeah.
And what's the number one budget rule that you adhere to?
The budget.
Yeah.
Now, what I always believe is that with my team, what we do is we always have a budget at the start of every week. So you have the breakfast in the morning, you have the lunch, then in the evening, when I remain behind, always I'll have some coffee in the office for me. So we draw our budgets on a weekly basis,
Mhm.
and we always adhere to that because it really helps us in financial management. So we are able to stick to our goals. We can only withdraw money if it's very important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a good one. Weekly budget rather than monthly, and then because sometimes in the middle of the month you're like, budget haifanye kazi tutafanya next month.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And last question, how can we reach you, and how can people? Hey Jay, I really need that CV. So how do I reach you?
Now, we have an office in town. We are located in Maendeleo House, just opposite Ambassador Towers. Maendeleo House, 6th floor, room 615. And then we have on social media pages, we have JCBs on LinkedIn, JCBs on Facebook, JCBs 2019 on Instagram, and CVs at J on Twitter. So in any of those, you go to Google, search JCBs, you'll always get our contacts. You'll find our website. So our contacts are on our website as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much, Jay, for coming. We
Thank you.
have learned a lot, and I look forward to bringing my CVs and also my friends to you.
Most welcome.
Sawa sawa. That's it for this episode. Feel free to take your CVs to Jay and get a little coaching on your next interview. Bye. See you in the next episode.